L'Italiana in Algeri by Gioacchino Rossini. The synopsis is presented by Opera Inside, the online opera guide. The roles: Mustafa, Bey of Algiers; Elvira, wife of Mustafa; Zulma, slave and confidant of Elvira; Haley, captain of the Algerian corsairs; Lindoro, Jeff engineer and slave on Mustafa; Isabella, Italian, lover of Lindoro; Taddeo, Isabella's companion. At the palace of the Bey, Elvira, the ruler's wife, sits on a sofa with her servant Zulma. She is depressed. She feels that her husband doesn't love her anymore. When Mustafa appears, he complains about the arrogance of women and does not want to hear anything more about his wife Elvira. Mustafa plans to pass his wife on to the slave Lindoro. He throws everyone out of the hall except Hallie. He commissions the captain of his corsairs to capture one of the dashing Italian women, who makes the men's hearts beat faster. She shall serve as substitute for his wife. The palace also houses the slave Lindoro, an Italian who was captured 3 months earlier. He longs for his mistress in Italy. Lindoro learns from Mustafa that he will get married to Elvira. Lindoro is desperate. He tries to talk his way out of it by trying to make the Bey understand that he is very picky with women. But Mustafa explains that the future wife has all the nice qualities. Meanwhile, Hallie and his corsairs came across an Italian ship that was the victim of a storm. They rob all the belongings and arrest the people on the ship. Among the women captured is Isabella. She is the mistress of Lindoro. She had set out to free her lover from captivity. Now she herself has fallen into the hands of the Mussulmans. It is clear to her that she must now keep a cool head and use the weapons of the women skillfully. Isabella is accompanied on her journey by her stubborn admirer Taddeo. Isabella passes him off as her uncle. When Hallie learns that Isabella is Italian, he tells her that she will be the Bey's chosen one, and that she will be taken to his seraglio. The jealous Taddeo curses the fate that has brought them into the hands of the Bey. But the two must buck up and go through the adventure together. Back at the palace of the Bey, Mustafa promises Lindoro that he may return to Italy if he takes Elvira with him. Lindoro has no choice but accept, and Mustafa informs Elvira that she will soon be shipped to Italy. Hallie arrives with the news that a splendid specimen of an Italian woman has been captured. Mustafa almost bursts with anticipation. Lindoro, Zulma and Elvira pack their bags. Elvira wants to see Mustafa one last time. Lindoro can't understand that she is going to miss him because she is young, beautiful and rich. A great future expects her in Italy. Isabella is introduced to the Bey. Mustafa is blown away. Isabella quickly realizes that she has a simpleton in front of her whom she will outsmart. Taddeo bursts into the rendezvous. Angrily, Mustafa wants to have the intruder impaled immediately, which Isabella can just about prevent by saying that he is her uncle. Now also Elvira, Zulma and Lindoro appear to say goodbye to the Bey. When Isabella and Lindoro recognize each other, they are perplexed. To gain time, Isabella asks who the three are. When Mustafa explains the situation to her, Isabella quickly devises a ruse. She demands from the stunned Mustafa that his wife Elvira must stay here and that she will keep Lindoro as her personal slave. When Mustafa protests, Isabella tells the perplexed Bey that he knows nothing about love and shall go to hell. Now it is clear to everyone that Isabella has made a donkey out of the lion in no time. The next day, Isabella is in a disgruntled mood. She had to watch Lindoro on the verge of running off with another woman. When she sees him, he can clear up the misunderstanding. The two of them decide to make a joint escape attempt with the ship. Now Lindoro has found his courage to face life again. Mustafa is in joyful anticipation of the rendezvous with Isabella. But Taddeo crosses his path. Taddeo complains to him about a eunuch who has been following him for some time. Mustafa explains that this is a great honor, and he appoints him as his Kamakan. Meanwhile, Isabella is getting ready for the rendezvous with Mustafa. She has Elvira bring the 3 coffee mugs and explains to the perplexed Elvira that she is also invited to the rendezvous. She now shows her how to deal with men. Isabella sits in her room in front of the mirror. Knowing that the Bey is about to enter, She pretends to make herself beautiful for her lover. Mustafa falls for the masquerade. Mustafa appears accompanied by Tadeo. He tells Isabella that he has promoted her uncle to a Kamakan to show her his appreciation. With the agreed sign of coughing, Mustafa repeatedly tells Tadeo to leave the room. Tadeo pretends not to notice. The next impertinence happens with no delay. Mustafa has to watch as Elvira arrives for coffee. Mustafa is furious. Hallie watched the whole thing and is glad that the pompous Mustafa is getting his deserved lesson from the cunning Italian. Tadeo and Lindoro talk to each other. Tadeo reveals that in fact he is not Elizabeth's uncle but a lover. Then Mustafa appears. Lindoro takes the opportunity to tell the still upset Bay that Isabella is pining for him and that she plans to appoint him as her papatachi. Now Mustafa is in a good mood again, because he learns that a papatachi only has to enjoy, eat and drink all day long. Isabella plans to create a ceremony for Mustafa, in which all Italian slaves honor the Bey with the Italian honorary title papatachi, and then flee to the provided ship by means of a ruse. Mustafa is proud to receive the honor and joins the Italians. Isabella receives him and declares to give him the title in a big ceremony, but only under the condition that he fulfills the strict regulations. Mustafa nods and Lindoro reads the rules. He is only allowed to eat and drink during the ceremony. Speaking and acting is forbidden to him. As a sign, she ties chains around his feet. Meanwhile, the Italian ship has docked next to the loggia. While Mustafa eats and drinks accompanied by the master of ceremonies Tadeo, the Italians board the ship. When Tadeo is the last to board the ship, Elvira comes into the hall. Now Mustafa realizes that he has been fooled. His corsairs can't rush to help, because they have been supplied with wine, and are no longer a danger to the Italians. Mustafa has no choice but to accept his fate. And he asks his wife for forgiveness and for her love.
www.operaInside.com. All about operas. Learn more about this great opera, with interesting facts and great YouTube videos. Visit us.